Have you ever woken up feeling heavy, not just in your body, but in your spirit too? Maybe your joints creak a little more than they used to, or it takes a few extra moments to get out of bed. You chalk it up to aging. That's just what happens after 60, you might say. But what if that heaviness isn't about getting older at all? What if it's about certain things we keep doing, out of habit, out of routine, that quietly wear us down? Most people think they need to do more to feel better. But sometimes, the real answer is learning what to stop. It's easy to overlook the small daily choices that make us feel sluggish, things that seem harmless but steal our energy, our lightness, our joy. In today's video, we're going to explore 5 common habits that many people over 60 do without realizing how much they weigh down both the body and the mind. And at the end, I'll share one simple shift that helps someone just like you feel 10 years younger. Not by adding more, but by letting go. So if you've ever wondered why you don't feel quite like yourself anymore, stay with me. This could be the beginning of feeling lighter than you have in years. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Skipping breakfast or eating sugar-heavy morning meals. For many Americans over 65, mornings follow a familiar script. The sun peeks in through the curtains, the house is quiet, and the world outside hasn't quite demanded anything of you yet. Maybe you shuffle to the kitchen in your slippers, listening to the familiar creaks of the floorboards and the gentle hum of the coffee pot. For decades, this ritual has provided a sense of comfort and routine, an anchor at the start of every new day. But if you pause to look closer, you might notice something else just as familiar. That dull heaviness in your limbs, the fuzzy-headed feeling as you sit with your mug, and maybe even a strange sort of fatigue before the day's even begun. Some days, you grab a quick pastry or pour yourself a bowl of sweet cereal, thinking, this is just a little treat to start my day. On other mornings, you might skip breakfast altogether, figuring it doesn't matter. After all, how much can a missed meal affect you at this age? If this sounds like your morning, you're far from alone. Most seniors have spent years believing that breakfast isn't as important as it's made out to be. Maybe you grew up in a household where a cup of coffee and a slice of toast was the norm, or maybe breakfast just fell by the wayside as life became busier and your appetite waned. There's comfort in routine, even in skipping the first meal or reaching for something sweet and simple. It feels harmless, maybe even deserved after a lifetime of early rises and busy days. But have you ever wondered why you sometimes feel sluggish or unsteady before noon, even if you slept well the night before? Why do your hands tremble as you pour your coffee, or do your energy seem to disappear by mid-morning, leaving you reaching for another snack or longing to crawl back into bed? Most people chalk it up to getting older, blaming the aches, the forgetfulness, and the weariness on their age. It's just part of the package, they say. But what if that wasn't the whole story? What if the real reason you feel so heavy in the morning isn't age at all, but rather the way you're beginning your day? It might surprise you to know that what you eat, or don't eat, first thing in the morning can affect how you feel for the rest of the day, sometimes in ways you'd never expect. Let's challenge the old assumption for a moment, that skipping breakfast or starting your day with something sugary is no big deal. What if, instead, these habits are quietly draining your energy, messing with your blood sugar, and making everything from your memory to your mood feel just a little bit harder than it needs to be? Here's what science tells us. After a night of fasting, while you sleep, your body works hard to restore and repair itself. Your blood sugar naturally drops. When you wake up, your brain and muscles are looking for fuel. If you skip breakfast, your body continues to run on empty, triggering the release of stress hormones like cortisol. This makes you feel edgy, anxious, or even lightheaded. For older adults, that dip in blood sugar can make you more likely to feel dizzy or unsteady, which increases the risk of falls or fainting, especially if you're taking medications that affect your metabolism or blood pressure. Now, let's talk about the other common breakfast habit: reaching for something sweet and easy. That donut, muffin, or sugary cereal might taste good, but it's a quick fix that comes with a cost. Foods high in refined sugar cause a sharp spike in your blood glucose, giving you a fleeting burst of energy and alertness. But this spike is quickly followed by a crash. Your body releases insulin to bring your blood sugar back down, but often it overshoots the mark, leaving you feeling even more tired, foggy, or irritable than before. It's not just about feeling sleepy. Repeated sugar spikes and crashes can make it harder for your cells to respond to insulin over time, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes, a condition that already affects millions of seniors across America. High blood sugar also triggers inflammation, which can worsen joint pain, slow down healing, and contribute to those nagging feelings of stiffness and fatigue. But the story doesn't end there. Breakfast is your body's opportunity to set the thermostat for the entire day. Skipping it, or starting with sugar, tells your body to hold on to calories, slow down metabolism, and conserve energy, because it doesn't know when it will get its next proper meal. This can make it harder to maintain a healthy weight, keep muscle mass, and avoid the mid-morning energy slump that leaves so many older adults nodding off in their armchairs or reaching for more snacks just to get by. So, what can you do? The answer isn't complicated or expensive. It's about giving your body the steady, nourishing start it needs, one that supports your brain, muscles, and spirit all day long. Instead of skipping breakfast, make it a gentle ritual of self-care. Start with a glass of water to rehydrate. Then, aim for a balanced meal that combines protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. Think of simple, wholesome choices: scrambled eggs with spinach and a slice of whole grain toast, Greek yogurt topped with berries and a handful of walnuts, or even a bowl of old-fashioned oatmeal with a sprinkle of cinnamon and diced apple. These foods release energy slowly, helping keep your blood sugar stable and your mind alert. They also provide vital nutrients, like protein to maintain muscle strength, fiber to support digestion, and antioxidants to protect your heart and memory. If cooking feels like a chore, remember that breakfast doesn't have to be fancy or time-consuming. A banana with almond butter, a hard-boiled egg, or a cottage cheese cup with sliced peaches can be just as nourishing as a full plate of pancakes. The point isn't perfection. It's about choosing foods that love your body back. You don't have to make this change alone. Many seniors find breakfast is more enjoyable when it's shared with others. A morning phone call with a friend, a breakfast club at the local senior center, or even sharing a meal with family when they visit. Community makes the habit stick and turns a lonely chore into a moment of connection and joy. Let me tell you about someone who made this simple change. Ruth is 72 years old and lives in a small town in Pennsylvania. For years, she would wake up, make herself a big cup of coffee, and sometimes nibble on a sweet roll or skip breakfast altogether. She thought nothing of it. Her mother had done the same, and so had most of her friends. But as she entered her 70s, Ruth noticed she was feeling weaker in the mornings, often dizzy as she got out of bed, and sometimes even too tired to enjoy her daily walks. One day, after a particularly rough morning, Ruth's daughter suggested she try eating a real breakfast for a week. Just 1 week. Reluctantly, Ruth agreed. She started with simple things: a couple of scrambled eggs and a slice of avocado toast one day, Greek yogurt with blueberries the next. By the third morning, Ruth felt the difference. Her energy didn't crash mid-morning. She was steadier on her feet, and the world seemed just a little brighter. After 2 weeks, she found she was looking forward to breakfast as a moment of peace and nourishment, a gift to herself, not a chore or a burden. Ruth's story isn't unique. All across America, older adults are rediscovering the simple joy and enormous benefit of a balanced breakfast. It's not about chasing youth or turning back the clock. It's about giving your body what it needs, right now, so you can make the most of every day you're given. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. If you've spent years skipping breakfast or relying on sugary treats to get you going, know this: it's never too late to start a new habit. Every morning is a fresh opportunity to care for yourself, and to set the tone for a lighter, more energetic day. Try making breakfast a gentle act of kindness toward yourself. Even small changes, a little more protein and a little less sugar, can add up to big differences in how you feel. You've given so much of yourself to your family, your work, and your community. Now is the time to invest in your well-being, starting with the very first meal of the day. Imagine greeting each morning with steady hands, a clear mind, and a sense of lightness you may not have felt in years. That's the power of breakfast, not just for your body, but for your spirit, too. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up and the world is still quiet, give yourself the gift of a real breakfast. Your future self will thank you. And who knows? You might just discover that the best part of your day is the one you used to skip. 2. Sitting for hours without movement. Have you ever found yourself settling into your favorite armchair with a sigh of relief, only to realize, hours later, that the day has quietly slipped by? Maybe you lost yourself in a good book, caught up on the latest episode of your favorite TV show, or watched the sunlight dance across the living room floor while the radio played softly in the background. For so many older adults, these quiet, comfortable moments are not just part of the day. They are cherished rituals, bringing peace and a sense of home. After decades of work, hustle, and constant responsibility, it feels good, deserved, even, to slow down and rest. But, if you're honest, have you noticed that sometimes, after these long stretches of stillness, it's not just your mind that feels relaxed? Maybe your legs feel heavy, or your lower back aches a little more than usual. Perhaps you find yourself shifting in your seat, trying to ease the stiffness in your hips or knees, or feeling a twinge in your shoulders or neck when you finally stand up. These little discomforts are easy to dismiss. After all, you might tell yourself, this is just part of getting older. Everyone says that with age comes aches and pains. And after a life spent busy, what's so bad about taking it easy? But what if the very comfort you seek could be quietly undermining your health and happiness? What if sitting for hours, something so ordinary, so commonplace, and so hard to avoid, was making your body feel heavier, stiffer, and even older than it needs to? For decades, people have believed that rest is the best medicine for an aging body. Take it easy, well-meaning friends and doctors have said. Don't overdo it. But what if it's not the moving that causes so many of our struggles with pain, stiffness, and weakness as we age, but the not moving? It might sound surprising, but recent scientific research has been sounding the alarm. Extended periods of sitting, especially as we get older, can lead to a cascade of problems far beyond a little stiffness or soreness. It's a phenomenon researchers now call sitting disease. And it can sneak up on anyone, no matter how active you once were. When you sit for long periods, your muscles, especially in your legs and hips, get less blood flow. Your heart rate drops and your circulation slows, which can leave your feet cold and swollen. The body's natural muscle pumps, those mechanisms that help push blood back to the heart, get lazy, which can contribute to varicose veins, blood clots, or even swollen ankles. Over time, the muscles you use for balance and walking can weaken, making it harder to get up from a chair, climb stairs, or even keep your balance. That, in turn, increases the risk of falls, one of the biggest threats to health and independence for older adults. But it isn't just your muscles and circulation that suffer. Sitting too much can slow your digestion, making it harder to stay regular. It can even dull your mental sharpness, as less movement means less oxygen-rich blood flowing to the brain. Studies have linked prolonged sitting to higher risks of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and even some cancers. What's truly sobering is that even regular exercisers aren't immune. If you walk or work out for 30 minutes, but then sit for most of the rest of the day, your risk is still higher than you might imagine. And here's the thing. These effects don't announce themselves overnight. They creep in quietly, little by little, until one day you realize you're not as steady on your feet as you once were. Getting up from your chair is harder, your legs don't quite respond the way they used to, and you might wonder, is this just old age? But it isn't only age, it's inactivity. Our bodies were made to move, no matter how many birthdays we've celebrated. But there's good news. Great news. You don't have to become a marathon runner or sign up for a gym membership to undo the damage. Even small changes, simple, gentle movements added throughout your day, can make a remarkable difference in how you feel, think, and live. The first step is awareness. Notice the times of day when you find yourself sitting the longest. Maybe it's during your favorite afternoon program, while you read the paper, or while chatting with friends on the phone. Instead of setting an alarm for another task, try this. Every 30 minutes, make a gentle effort to stand up, stretch, or walk a few steps around the house. If you're watching TV, stand and march in place during the commercials, or keep a small bottle of water nearby and get up to refill it often. When talking on the phone, try standing or pacing around the room. Place a chair in the kitchen and do some gentle leg extensions while waiting for the kettle to boil. Movement doesn't have to be strenuous or complicated. Simple stretches, like rolling your shoulders, flexing your ankles, or gently twisting at the waist, can keep your joints supple and your muscles awake. If you have stairs at home, try climbing up and down once or twice a day. If you're feeling ambitious, dance to your favorite oldies for a few minutes, just to get the blood moving and your heart a little lighter. Some seniors find it helpful to set gentle reminders, a kitchen timer, a sticky note on the remote, or even a friendly nudge from a spouse or caregiver to keep moving throughout the day. And don't underestimate the power of walking. Even a 5-minute stroll around your garden, down the driveway, or just through the halls of your building can work wonders for your mood and your health. Let me share a story that might sound familiar. Bill is a retired teacher from Ohio, now 75 years old. When he first left the classroom, Bill found himself spending hours reading, watching baseball, and enjoying the slower pace of retired life. But after a year or so, he began to notice a heaviness in his legs and a stiffness in his back that wouldn't go away. Climbing stairs became a struggle, and he started using the banister more often, something he swore he'd never do. "I just thought it was part of getting old," Bill said. "But then my doctor told me to try standing up every hour, just for a few minutes." At first, it sounded almost too simple. But Bill gave it a shot. He set a timer on his watch, and every hour, he'd get up, stretch, and walk around the house. Some days, he'd walk outside and check the mailbox or water the flowers. Other times, he'd just pace the hallway. After a couple of weeks, Bill noticed that his legs didn't feel as heavy. His back hurt less, and he even started sleeping better at night. The stairs weren't as daunting, and he felt more confident and steady on his feet. It wasn't a miracle, Bill laughs, but it felt pretty close. The truth is, you don't need big, dramatic changes to feel the benefits. Consistent, gentle movement, woven into the fabric of your day, can make a profound difference. Not only will you feel lighter and more energetic, but you'll protect your independence, keep your mind sharp, and enjoy the simple pleasures of movement, like feeling the grass under your feet, the sun on your face, or the rhythm of your favorite song. If you've spent years believing that rest is the safest path, I hope you'll permit yourself to move a little more, not less. You deserve to enjoy every day with strength, confidence, and the freedom to do the things you love, whether it's gardening, playing with your grandkids, or just walking to the corner store for your favorite treat. Remember, movement is a gift you can give yourself at any age. Every time you stand up, stretch, or take a few steps, you're telling your body, "I care about you. I want you to keep going." It doesn't have to be perfect or impressive, just consistent. You've earned this freedom, this lightness, and this joy. Don't let your chair steal it away. So the next time you find yourself settled into your favorite seat, remember, a little movement, here and there, is the key to keeping your body and spirit as lively as ever. You might be surprised at how much lighter you'll feel, not just in your legs, but in your heart, too. The journey to better health and a brighter day can truly start with a single step. 3. Holding on to old clutter, emotional or physical. There's something about getting older that makes the memories in your home feel even more precious. Each framed photograph, every handwritten note, the vase you bought decades ago on a whim, they all carry stories. Maybe your kitchen drawers hold birthday cards from grandchildren long grown, or you still have a closet filled with coats, scarves, and shoes you haven't worn in years. The attic is crowded with boxes, each packed with pieces of a life well lived. Children's school projects, souvenirs from vacations, that chipped mug with your late husband's favorite baseball team on it. To you, these things are far more than stuff. They are reminders of laughter, love, and time passing. But over the years, you might have noticed that what once brought comfort now feels a little overwhelming. Perhaps you open a closet door and feel a rush of anxiety at the jumble inside, or you walk into a room and are met with stacks of newspapers and magazines, piles of old clothes, or bins full of forgotten gadgets. Maybe you feel weighed down by these things, both in body and in spirit. It's easy to ignore, telling yourself, "I'll get to it someday," or "I just don't have the heart to let go." After all, what harm can a few extra boxes do? Yet, deep down, you might sense something else. An undercurrent of heaviness that lingers, even on days when the sun is shining and your spirits are high. The clutter, both the physical and the emotional, sits in the background of your life, quietly taking up space. Sometimes, it's not even the objects themselves but the memories and emotions attached to them, regrets, old wounds, or sadness you've never quite shaken off. These, too, can fill the corners of your heart and your home, sometimes making it hard to breathe. Here's a question you may never have asked yourself. Is your home a sanctuary or a storage room for your past? Have you made space for the present, or are you holding on so tightly to yesterday that you can't step into today with both feet? For so long, the idea of keeping things just in case, has been woven into American life, especially for those who grew up during tough times, when nothing was wasted, and every item had a potential use. But the truth is, holding on to too much, whether it's objects or old feelings, can make your days feel heavier, not lighter. Studies have shown that clutter in our environment is directly linked to increased feelings of stress and anxiety, especially as we age. Too many belongings can become trip hazards, making your home less safe. They can hide dust and allergens, impacting your health. And more importantly, they can clutter your mind, making it harder to relax, focus, or feel truly at peace. But it's not only the physical clutter. Emotional clutter, regrets, grudges, and memories of things left unsaid, can be just as burdensome. Carrying these invisible loads can affect your mood, your sleep, and even your relationships with those you love most. You might find yourself stuck in old stories, replaying moments you wish had turned out differently, or holding on to anger that no longer serves you. All of this can add up, making it hard to find the lightness and freedom you long for in your golden years. So, what's really at the heart of this? Why is it so hard to let go? The answer, science tells us, is rooted in our brains and our hearts. As humans, we form attachments not just to people, but to objects and memories. The brain registers comfort and security in the familiar, even when that familiarity starts to feel burdensome. For older adults, especially, letting go of things can feel like erasing a part of your story. But the truth is, your story lives in you, not in your old coats, faded birthday cards, or the boxes in the attic. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means making space for new memories, easier movement, and a more peaceful mind. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The good news is that letting go of things or emotions doesn't have to happen all at once. You don't need to empty the house on a weekend or resolve every feeling with a single conversation. The journey toward lightness can begin with just one drawer or one memory at a time. Start small. Pick a single drawer, a corner of a room, or even a single box. As you look at each item, ask yourself, does this add joy to my life or just take up space? If it's something you truly cherish, find a place for it where you'll see it and appreciate it. If it's an item you haven't touched in years, consider passing it on, donate it, gift it to someone who needs it, or simply let it go with gratitude for the part it played in your story. As for emotional clutter, try writing a letter to yourself or someone from your past. You don't have to send it. Just putting your feelings into words can bring a sense of relief. Or talk to a friend, counselor, or faith leader about what's weighing on your heart. Sometimes, sharing a story out loud is enough to lighten the load. Practicing gratitude helps, too. Each day, write down one thing you're thankful for. Over time, this practice can shift your focus from what you've lost or regret to what you have now. Let me tell you about Alice, a 68-year-old grandmother from Kansas. For years, Alice's home was filled with keepsakes. Boxes of toys her children had outgrown, linen she never used, and her late husband's old fishing gear. Every time she tried to clean up, she felt paralyzed by guilt and nostalgia. But one winter, after nearly tripping on a stack of magazines by the stairs, Alice decided it was time for a change. She started with just one shelf in the hallway. At first, it was slow and emotional. She found herself sitting with each object, reliving the memories. But as she let go of the items she no longer needed, she felt her home becoming brighter, her steps lighter. Soon, she invited her daughter and grandchildren to help, turning the process into a celebration of the past and a welcome to new beginnings. I thought letting go would hurt, Alice shared, but it set me free. Now, my home feels peaceful, and my heart does too. Letting go is never about erasing your story. It's about honoring it, cherishing the best parts, and then permitting yourself to move forward. Every item you part with, every regret you release, opens up space for joy, for laughter, for new memories yet to come. You may find that with each drawer you clear, you sleep a little easier. With each old resentment you let go, your conversations become warmer, and your days brighter. It takes courage to release the things and feelings you've held onto for so long. But you have faced harder things in your life. You've raised families, survived losses, built homes and communities, and watched the world change in ways you never imagined. This is just one more step toward freedom, toward living with greater lightness and peace. So, if you find yourself looking around your home and feeling burdened, if your heart feels crowded with what-ifs and should-haves, know that you are not alone. The weight you feel is real, but it is not permanent. Begin today, with one drawer, one box, and one story at a time. Celebrate what you choose to keep, honor what you choose to let go, and make room for all the beautiful moments that are still ahead. Your home and your heart deserve to be filled with peace, not just memories. You deserve to move through your days with ease, to welcome friends and family without worry, and to rest each night knowing you have only what you truly need. Letting go of clutter, of regrets, of yesterday, is not losing. It is gaining space for today, and hope for tomorrow. You have the power to create that space, starting right now. And you might just discover, as Alice did, that the greatest treasures in life are not the things we hold on to, but the freedom we gain when we finally let go. 4. Overthinking the past or regretting decisions. It's a quiet evening, and you find yourself sitting alone, maybe by a window watching the world outside. Your mind drifts back to moments long gone, decisions made, chances missed, words left unspoken. Perhaps it's a choice you made decades ago, a relationship that didn't turn out as you hoped, or simply wondering, what if I had taken a different path? For many seniors, these reflections aren't just occasional thoughts. They can become a steady, sometimes overwhelming companion. It's easy to feel trapped in a cycle of if only and should have, replaying the past over and over like a worn-out record. This is a feeling almost everyone has at some point, especially after a long life filled with rich experiences, both joyful and painful. You might think that dwelling on these memories is just part of getting older, a natural way to process the years behind you. After all, they say wisdom comes with age, and perhaps reflecting on the past is how we find that wisdom. But here's a question worth asking. Is overthinking the past really helping you, or is it quietly stealing your peace and happiness right now? Could it be that holding on too tightly to regrets is making your present heavier and your future dimmer? It's a tough question because no one wants to dismiss the importance of our memories or the lessons they carry. But psychologists and neuroscientists tell us that while reflection is natural, rumination, repetitive, negative thinking about past mistakes, can be harmful, especially as we age. Research shows that overthinking and regret can increase stress hormones like cortisol, which, over time, affect our sleep, memory, and even heart health. It can make us feel stuck, anxious, or depressed, interfering with our ability to enjoy the simple pleasures of daily life. What's more, this mental weight often goes unnoticed because it doesn't show up like a physical ache or pain. Instead, it whispers, "You're not enough," or "You've wasted your chance." These messages can chip away at your confidence and make you hesitate to embrace new experiences or relationships. The irony is that while regret anchors us to the past, it also steals our ability to be fully present in the here and now. But it doesn't have to be this way. The same mind that dwells on regret also has the power to choose a different path, a path toward forgiveness, acceptance, and peace. The first step is gentle awareness. Notice when your thoughts start to spiral into what-ifs, or if only. Don't judge yourself for these feelings. They are part of being human. Instead, recognize that these thoughts don't have to control you. Imagine them like clouds passing across the sky, sometimes dark and heavy, but always moving along. One powerful way to begin shifting your mindset is through gratitude. It might sound simple, even cliché, but daily gratitude practices have been shown to improve mood, reduce stress, and increase overall well-being. Each morning or before bed, try writing down just 3 things you're thankful for. They can be small: a warm cup of tea, a kind smile, a song you love. Over time, this habit helps retrain your brain to focus on the present and the positive, rather than the past and the painful. Another helpful practice is journaling. Putting your feelings on paper can give them shape and release their hold on your mind. Write letters to your younger self, not to blame or criticize, but to offer compassion and understanding. Tell yourself what you needed to hear back then, and what you want to believe now. This simple act can bring clarity and healing. Connecting with others is equally important. Sharing your feelings with trusted friends, family, or support groups can lighten the emotional load. Many communities have programs for seniors that include group discussions or counseling focused on life transitions and emotional health. You might be surprised how many people carry similar regrets, and how comforting it is to know you're not alone. Let me share a story about Frank, a 79-year-old veteran living in Oregon. Frank had spent years replaying a decision he made in his early 30s that cost him a close friendship. He often caught himself dwelling on what could have been, feeling a deep sadness that affected his mood and energy. But one day, encouraged by his daughter, Frank joined a local writing group for seniors. Through writing and sharing stories, he found a new way to look at his past, not as a series of failures, but as a complex journey filled with lessons and growth. Over time, Frank felt lighter. He forgave himself, reconnected with old friends, and even made new ones. "I realized," he said, "that my past doesn't define me, it's just part of the story." Changing the way you think about your past is not about erasing it or pretending nothing went wrong. It's about reclaiming your power and choosing peace over pain. It's about recognizing that regrets are normal, but they don't have to be permanent. You have the wisdom now to hold your past gently, and the freedom to live fully in the present. If you find yourself stuck in old patterns of regret, be kind to yourself. This is a process, not a race. Celebrate small victories. Moments when you catch yourself shifting your thoughts, when you practice gratitude, or when you reach out for support. Remember, your life is a tapestry woven with many threads. Joy and sorrow, success and mistakes, laughter and tears. All of it makes you who you are. Letting go of regret doesn't mean forgetting your story. It means choosing to write new chapters filled with hope, light, and peace. So tonight, as you prepare to rest, consider this. What if the past you've been holding onto isn't a weight, but a bridge? A bridge that leads you from where you've been to where you want to go. And what if that journey begins with a single step? Choosing to be present, choosing to forgive, and choosing to live lighter than ever before. You've lived a full, meaningful life, filled with challenges and triumphs. Now, permit yourself to embrace the here and now, with an open heart and a peaceful mind. Your best days are still ahead, and they start the moment you choose to let go. 5. Constantly saying yes when you mean no. As we grow older, many of us find ourselves caught in a delicate balancing act, wanting to be helpful, kind, and involved, yet feeling the slow pull of fatigue, aches, or simply the desire for quiet moments of rest. It's natural to want to say yes when family, friends, or neighbors ask for our time or assistance. After all, being generous with our love and support has been a lifelong source of meaning and joy. But what happens when that yes becomes automatic, even when your heart is whispering no? Maybe you've experienced this yourself. Your adult children ask for help moving furniture, or a neighbor requests you watch their dog for the weekend. Perhaps a friend invites you to an outing, but you're feeling tired or overwhelmed. Out of habit, or a fear of disappointing others, you agree, even though you know deep down it might stretch your energy thin. Over time, these yes can pile up, until you barely recognize yourself beneath the weight of obligations. It's easy to mistake saying yes all the time as a sign of love and commitment. Many of us were raised to be people pleasers, taught that saying no is rude or selfish. But here's a question to consider. Is always saying yes truly kindness to others, or could it be neglecting kindness to yourself? This is a common struggle, especially for seniors who have spent decades caring for others. But experts in mental health and aging emphasize that setting boundaries, learning to say no when you need to, is not only healthy, it's essential. Constantly putting others' needs ahead of your own can lead to burnout, stress, and even physical health problems like high blood pressure or weakened immunity. When you say yes against your wishes, you might feel resentment building, even if you don't express it. That silent frustration can harm relationships and your peace of mind. It also steals precious time you could spend recharging, pursuing hobbies, or simply enjoying moments of quiet. Over time, this pattern can erode your sense of self-worth and joy. But the good news is that learning to say no with kindness and confidence is a skill that can be developed at any age. It doesn't mean you care less, it means you care smarter, both for yourself and those around you. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Start by tuning in to your feelings. When someone asks you for help or invites you somewhere, pause for a moment. Check in with yourself. How do you feel? Are you energized or exhausted by this request? What would saying yes mean for your energy and well-being? Sometimes, a simple breath and a moment's reflection can make all the difference. You can also practice gentle ways to say no, that honor both your needs and the feelings of others. Phrases like, "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I'm going to have to pass this time," or "I'd love to help, but I need to focus on my health right now," can be honest without hurting anyone's feelings. It's okay to be straightforward and kind. Another helpful strategy is to offer alternatives when you say no. For example, if a family member asks for help moving, but you're not able to assist physically, you might say, "I can't help with the heavy lifting, but I'd be happy to bring lunch or help you plan the day." This keeps you involved in ways that feel manageable. Let me tell you about Linda, a 70-year-old retired nurse from Florida. Linda spent years saying yes to every request, helping neighbors with errands, caring for her grandchildren after school, and volunteering in multiple community groups. While she loved being there for others, she often felt exhausted and overwhelmed. Her health started to decline, and she realized she was neglecting her own needs. With encouragement from a close friend, Linda began setting boundaries. She started saying no when invitations felt too demanding and focused on activities that brought her joy and rest. Over time, Linda noticed she was happier, her relationships improved, and she felt more like herself again. "Saying no didn't make me less loving," she said. "It made me more present for the people I care about." Remember, your time and energy are precious resources, ones you deserve to protect. Saying no is not a failure or a flaw. It's an act of self-respect and self-care, essential for living well in your golden years. If you've been struggling with this, try setting small boundaries first. Say no to one request this week that feels draining. Notice how it feels to prioritize your well-being. You might be surprised at the relief and renewed energy it brings. You've spent a lifetime giving to others. Now, permit yourself to say no when you need to. In doing so, you'll not only protect your health and happiness, but also show those around you that your needs matter too. This balance creates stronger, more genuine relationships, and a life that feels lighter, freer, and more fulfilling. So the next time someone asks you for your time or help, remember, a true yes comes from a place of genuine willingness and joy. And when your heart says no, honoring that truth is one of the kindest gifts you can give to yourself and to everyone who loves you. Your well-being matters. Your voice matters. Your choice matters. And it's never too late to start saying yes to yourself. As we've explored today, feeling lighter and more energized after 60 isn't about chasing youth or pushing yourself harder. Sometimes, it's about the simple but powerful choices to stop doing what no longer serves you. Whether that's skipping breakfast, sitting too long, holding on to clutter, overthinking the past, or saying yes when you mean no. These habits might seem small or harmless, but they quietly weigh you down day by day. The good news is that you have the power to change them, gently, gradually, and with kindness toward yourself. Every step you take toward letting go of these old patterns is a step toward reclaiming your health, your joy, and your freedom. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about progress, patience, and honoring your body and heart. You've lived a rich, meaningful life filled with stories, lessons, and love. Now it's time to gift yourself the lightness you deserve. Imagine waking each morning feeling steady, energized, and free to enjoy the people and moments that matter most. I'd love to hear from you. Which one of these 5 habits resonated with you the most? What small change will you start making today to feel lighter and more vibrant? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. It's your stories that inspire and uplift our community. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend or family member who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips designed especially for those of us embracing the beautiful journey of aging. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, feeling lighter after 60 is not just possible, it's your right. Here's to your healthiest, happiest days ahead.